Post Falls, Idaho. The city council decided that they don't want to celebrate Juneteenth anymore because it makes white people upset, that we want to talk about the end of slavery. And their mayor up there, Mayor Randy Dumbass, white supremacist, says, I would rather talk about American history. Now, Randy, I'm going to need you to put down your white hood for a second and listen, because you're the typical mediocre white man with a micro penis. And I've seen your pictures and flags and guns and all the nationalistic bullshit that you buy into. So I'm going to educate you about what this country actually is. You want to talk about American history? I'm going to talk about American history. Now, you may be talking about white history, but you said American history, so let's have that conversation, Randy. Maybe you'd like to tell me how many black people died during the Middle Passage. 1.4 million approximately. Up to 6 months they were shackled. Never saw the light of day in the bottom of ships. And when they died, they just threw them in the ocean like garbage. And the bull sharks would follow them. You want to talk about that piece of American history? No, I didn't think so. How about when they came over here and we whipped them and beat them and put salt on their wounds, separated their families, tore the fetuses out of black women? You want to talk about that part of American history? Because that's part of our history. No, you don't want to talk about that. Is that woke? You want to talk about the 3/5 clause? Where the pieces of shit founding fathers that owned black people designed this country to benefit white men, 21-year-old landowning white men alone? You want to talk about that piece of history? Or how about when your great-grandfathers that were in their Klan rally, that went to church, because they're Christians in this great Christian nation, and they took pictures with black people hanging from fucking trees, because that's American. You don't want to talk about any of that, do you? You only want to talk about white history. Let's not even get into Asian internment camps and the genocide of Native Americans. You don't want to talk about that. You want to talk about the nationalism, because this is what you believe, right? It's the indoctrination for you, right, Mayor Dumbass? Right? You wake up and you put your kid in American flag diapers at an early age, and you plop him in front of a TV, and every commercial has an American flag, and we have to stand up and go, yes, sir, sing to the flag, worship the flag. And before you go to school, you have your freedom Wheaties, because you got to be a good little patriot. And then you feed your pet bald eagle, because you're not a real American unless you have a bald eagle. Then you go out to your truck and you polish the Constitution, because it's spray painted all over your truck. Then you hop in your truck. Oh, wait, you forgot the 8 trillion American flags, because you don't want people to think that you don't love this country. And then you hop in and you blast God Bless America, because you want to make sure your parents know that you're a patriot. Oh, let's not forget the guns in the back. Now, we don't have to lock them up or go through a background check. And hey, it's too bad if a kid takes it and murders some other kids, because, we're patriots. Shall not be infringed. Screw well regulated, because I'm a dumbass. I'm a patriot. And then you drop your kids off at school. And then once again, they stand and they worship a symbol. The red, white, and blue. The problem is you don't care about the flag. At least not the red, white, and blue. You want to take away the red and the blue. You just want white. And that's what this is. You don't want to teach your white kids about actual American history. Black history is American history, but you don't see that. Because when I tell you those things, it scares you. Your version and the version that we've all been lied to about we're the best of the best of the best, it breaks your little racist brain. And then you'll say, if you don't love this country, I say this because I love this country. Because I'm sick of white supremacists like you that go to your Klan rallies and take away holidays like Juneteenth, which is a little bit of a progress upon the white supremacy in this country. And you're like, nope, I don't want it. And then you voted for a white man in 2024 that is a racist, a white supremacist, a felon, an adjudicated rapist, a sexual assaulter who caused an insurrection, who is literally defending and protecting grown-ass, crusty, white supremacist white men that molested little girls, and you're like, yeah, I'm a patriot because he's white. And that's what you mean. That's what this is all about, my friends. When he says American history, he means white history, white exceptionalism. We only lead the world in three things, Mayor Dumbass: white supremacy, incarcerations, gun violence, because, you know, we're pro-life in this country, and military spending. Not quality of life, not happiness, not affordability, not clean air, not clean water, not the environment, nothing. Three horrible things. But because you have symbols like flags and bald eagles, you're like, yeah, I'm a white man. And the reason that Billy Bob like this, Mayor Dumbass, is still here is because we didn't punish the Confederacy. We allowed them to lie. And this mayor in Idaho, and his grandparents probably put black people in trees. And it's probably in his wall somewhere, and he probably celebrates it because it's American. We didn't punish the Confederacy. And then they lied and created a lost cause that said the Civil War was about states' rights because they're patriots. And this is what you get. And the reality is, white people's silence since 1619, going back to probably 1549, is why we're here. That's why we got people in Idaho on the city council and Mayor Dumbass over here. They don't want to be woke. They don't want to see actual black history. That's what being woke is. I'm woke as fuck. I see this country for what it is, and Mayor Dumbass and a lot of Make America White Again, because that's what Trump is going back to 1776, where the white man ruled everything. Look at his phone call to the U.S. Olympic team. I guess I'm going to have to bring in the women's team. Ha, 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 because they're sexist pigs. And the entire team laughed. And as he insults women, they all laugh and giggle. It's all funny. Because people like him would rather burn this country to the ground than vote for a black woman. And until we deal with it, we are not going to progress as a country. We did not progress after the civil rights movement. We suppressed it behind a dam. And then the grand wizard with orange makeup that craps his diaper, that looks at the sun, talks about Hannibal fucking Lecter, and assaults women, said, yep, he's my Hail Mary for the white supremacy. We have to hold on to the dying light because whites are going to be a minority, and he's their Hail Mary. And they're doing everything they can to hold on to power. And I'll be damned. Whether I like it or not, I'm white. But with great power comes great responsibility. And until more white people are willing to be uncomfortable like this, we ain't going to change this damn country. And yes, if you're silent and you're not saying anything, if you're not posting about it, if you're not talking about it, if you're not protesting, your silence is complicity. Martin Luther King said, we will not remember the words of our enemies, rather the silence of our friends. Evil succeeds when good people do nothing. Racism and white supremacy succeeds when white privilege does nothing. Have a white day.